would say, quote unquote, sign a deal,
Right.
and now we're going to be the exclusive home of all Universal properties.
Right.
You know, at some point this you're probably going to see the same thing with, you know, like Paramount. Paramount will say, you know, I think they have a deal with Showtime, but I think Paramount owns Showtime. I'm not quite sure how all that works. The CBS owns Showtime and Paramount. I'm not quite sure how that all works.
Yeah.
But, you know, so Showtime may end up going away. Like, in all honesty, like, you know, because why would you bother having Showtime if you want people getting your streaming service?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, there's a lot of things that you're kind of like juggling here. That is like the era of like the premium channel may be coming to an end.
Well, I mean, for a minute there, when they changed that Stars to Epic, and they took everybody's Stars off them, but you had Epic or something like that.
Yeah.
Whole thing changed. You were like, "What the hell are they doing?" I think that was like the start of the downfall there.
Well, I mean, it's
Epic ain't that great, and it sucks because we used to have Stars, which
right.
is like a couple steps above it. The problem with Epic is if you go down in their channels, they have 3 or 4 channels playing the same fucking movie.
Right. Right.
That doesn't make sense to me. HBO and Stars, the only 2 that are playing the same is HD and that SD channel from that HD.
Right.
That's it. And you took off the good stuff and gave us the bad. So, whatever they're doing with this, let's hope it doesn't go to the negative like that did.
Well, I think what I'm referring to though is like there was a time where like premium channels were king.
Right, yeah.
Like if you didn't want to see a movie in the theater, you waited a year till it came on
Yeah.
HBO or it came on Showtime.
When they only had 1 channel.
Right. Or Stars. Like you
Right.
waited for it to show up on your premium channel because that's what you were paying for.
Exactly.
Now with the advent of streaming services, you know, that has changed. And very slowly the premium channel is taking a hard hit. Now, like Warner Brothers is using like the name of HBO because it's a known commodity
Right.
for their HBO Max platform
Right.
to try to sell that, which makes sense because you have a known IP
Right.
that people are familiar with and know the value of. Paramount, for whatever reason, you know, CBS, you know, they went with Paramount Plus. They're going with the studio instead of like maybe saying like, you know, this is Showtime Plus.
Right.
You know, but I don't know why you would do that. Like, I mean, you know, so it's the value of the premium channel is being diminished more and more with streaming services, because even with HBO Max, if I want to watch like even like their HBO's original content, guess what? It's on HBO Max.
Right, yeah.
You know, so why am I paying for HBO when I can pay a little bit more and get HBO Max to get a whole lot more stuff?
Right.
So the question was like, is this like the downfall of the premium channel? Is that good or bad?
For me, good.
Really?
How often do I watch them?
True. I understand that.
I think Shallow Hal the other morning was the first time I watched anything on Epics in months.
Yeah.
And that was only because it was on when I woke up.
Yeah.
I wasn't even flipping through those channels.
Right.
Yeah, how it got on there, I don't know, but I was watching it. It was on when I woke up.
So like you're okay like with if like Showtime and Stars and all this went away.
The only reason I like Showtime, we never really had Showtime, but the only thing worth on Showtime was Shameless. That was it.
Yeah.
And any show that I want to watch, like HBO or whatever, as long as you got HBO Max, you're going to get it.
Right.
What other premium channels are out there that you can't get the movies somewhere else? Like on what's the other one that we watch? We got Hulu now.
Right.
You know, we got Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix. I mean, why would you need those channels?
Right. I agree. Like, I mean, it's interesting, like to see how like, because one of the things that me and Ian always talk about is how streaming services and this streaming content is affecting theaters.
Right.
Well, one of the things that, I'm just kind of realizing now is it's also affecting the premium channel, which is something that I grew up on. Like
not me.
But it was like one of those things where it was like, you've got HBO. Cool. Or
I thought that of my friends, yeah.
Or like, way back in the day. Can I sleep over and watch the Cinemax late at night?
Wait, did you have the box that descrambled it so it wasn't really a clear picture?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You had to slide the button over.
Yeah. I had friends who had like Cinemax, and that was the thing. You'd stay up late to watch that's what Cinemax After Dark.
That's what little boys were doing. That's not what little girls were doing.
But
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Me and my friends weren't.
But it was also I remember one time. I'm flipping through the channels. I can't remember. It was when I had Dish. It's I had a Showtime channel somehow. I can't remember what exactly was going on there, but it was something odd. And it was the West version of it. And I was up early. I was it was up at 6 in the morning. And I flipped on the TV, and that channel just happened to be on, and there's people fucking.
Oh, come on.
It was they were it was after dark, but because I was on the West Coast feed, it was 3 a.m. there.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, I was not expecting that.
I should be awake at this time more often.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm hoping you changed that right away.
I did. I immediately went to Sports Center.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's when they did that with the Epic and Stars things with me, I was thinking I was going to be really sad because we didn't have Stars anymore. But as time wore on, I'm like, what's on Stars that I really was worried about not having it? Except for a movie here and there that I can get somewhere else now.
Right. I think the thing is always, that I've always said is, original content is king. Mm-hmm. HBO's the king of original content. Mm-hmm. They have been for years upon years upon years. Showtime made a lot of inroads, with Weeds and with Shameless, and a few other shows that they've done over the years that, they've kind of got up their original content game. Yeah. Stars has struggled with original content for years.
Yeah, I've never watched anything original off there. Never.
The only thing I've ever really they've done as an original content that really piqued my interest was Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah, I know I remember you watched that.
Yeah, but other than that, I can't name any other show that they had that was original. Now, I do know on Stars what Outlander is very, very popular, but other than that, they've never had anything else that's had a decent run where you say that's a pop culture changing show. Right. HBO shits out pop culture changing shows on a regular basis.
It does. It has that knack.
Yeah. For whatever reason. But now that's changed because, again, one of the things that is what draws you to a streaming service? Well, in all honesty, now it's their original content.
Yeah. My problem is that it's spread out so much. We got certain ones on Hulu we watch. We got certain ones on Amazon we watch. We got certain ones on Netflix we watch. Paramount.
Right.
Paramount. No, CBS All Access. That's Paramount.
That's Paramount Plus,
okay.
Yeah.
And then there's the Peacock. You know what I mean? It's spread out. It's why can't they all just be on one?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, so now, but that's the thing. What's going to make me spend the money on a streaming service? Well, it's the original content. Yeah. I can give a shit less about your library at this point.
Me too. Too. Because you can get anything you want right now with what we have.
Right. But
I mean, why do we even have cable? Except I know why we have cable.
Right. But it becomes this interesting point of okay, here's where like, why am I subscribing to Disney Plus? Well, it's not for the Disney movies, not even for the Marvel and Star Wars movies. I have all of those on DVD.
Exactly.
What it's actually for is The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's for Loki. It's for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It's for that original content that I can't get anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Why do I insist on we keeping Netflix? Well, because there's original shows on there that I want to watch, like Lost in Space and Stranger Things. Like, there's original content on all of these that I kind of like. I'm invested in to a certain extent. Like Paramount Plus, the Star Trek shows. Right. So there's things that I'm like. The only one that we subscribe to, that I subscribed to just for you, was Hulu.
Yeah.
And that bundled in with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But I didn't start using Hulu until like recently to watch Stargate Atlantis.
Oh, I got sucked into Hulu the minute you subscribed to it.
Yeah, because you wanted to watch King of the Hill, and there was other shit you wanted.
That's where you can get Bob's Burger.
Right.
But, I mean, there was a lot of stuff I found on there that I didn't know was on there, like My So-Called Life and Freaks and Geeks and Hey Dude and stuff like that. I was like, wow, this is on here too?
But, like, other than, like, okay, like, right now I'm watching it for Stargate Atlantis, but, like, I gotta look and see, like, what is their original content? Right. Like, I know what I think Hulu is the home of the Handmaid's Tale. Well, that doesn't interest me. But I know that's a highly regarded show. Like, what other original content do they have to offer that I would find interesting? Mm-hmm. But so outside of, like, the Stargate shows that I'm watching, I mean, like, anything else, like, I Peacock, like, we get Peacock for free because we're Comcast subscribers.
Right.
But, like, it's like, well, what's the interest to me with that? Well, I like going back and watching the old wrestling stuff.
Right, yeah. Yes.
I like Stone Cold has the Broken Skull sessions. He just did one with Mick Foley. He's doing another one. I think tonight they release it with Kevin Nash. Well, I got to sit down and watch both of those.
Yeah.
It's shit like that draws me to Peacock. Well, now you're telling me, if in 4 months after release, the exclusive home of Universal's content is going to be Peacock. Well, now you got another hook into me.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, like that is something where, like, because there are movies like F9.
Right.
I'm not going to go see a theater. I was waiting for it to come on HBO. Well,
right.
When F10 comes out, it won't be on HBO. It'll be on Peacock.
Right.
Or it'll be on So it's interesting how the board is constantly changing on what we want for entertainment or how we're going to get our entertainment. And I said, like, at the beginning of this, like, we talk about a lot the demise of the movie theater and how we're hoping that gets avoided and how can it be avoided, because we love the movie going experience. But I also understand why people are just like, fuck it, I'll just watch it at home. Well, now here's something else that was a childhood staple of mine, the premium channel that may be going away because of streaming services.
Other than the premium channel, would there be any reason why not to subscribe to cable anymore? Other than what? Your local news, which you can get online?
Well, in all honesty, I think the biggest reason I'm still holding on to cable is football season. Like, and I know people will tell me, like, well, we just throw up an antenna and you can get your local channels. Well, sometimes I like watching a game on ESPN, something out of my market, sometimes I like watching an NFL game that's like on Monday Night Football that's out of market, but like Monday Night Football, unless it's a Steeler game, you don't get it. Occasionally when I have like a day off and they're on, I like watching the Penguins when they're on.
Right.
Occasionally when I have a day off and I really want to depress myself, I'll watch a Pirate game. Those are things that once you cut the cord, you don't get any longer.
Right.
So it's like this thing of like, I'm holding on to that just because, of like stuff like that. And like even then, like some people will probably tell me like, well, you know, if you got the Disney package, I mean, you have ESPN Plus, which means you're gonna watch Monday Night Football anyway. Like, there are a lot of things that come into this, and I don't know. It's one of those things where it's the comfort of still having cable. Like if it came down to it, you know, we could